Now let's take the bolster. Okay, we're going to take the bolster and we're going to turn it to make it a little higher on its side. So it's a little higher up. On one knee, just the right knee. So move the bolster out the way. So it's one knee. Now, all we're going to do is lift the foot up and lower it down. Lift it up, lower it down. So a lot of what I'm doing here, you notice it's having very little impact on the knee itself.
You really feel it behind the knee.
Yeah, it's affecting the tissues. Are you noticing on the front of the thigh? Maybe some strengthening. You know, this muscle, the quad muscle, the center one, comes all the way down, wraps over the knee and connects onto the shin. So you can see, depending on what's happening to this muscle, you're going to have a direct effect on the health of the knee. So you see how simple this is? Now this is really good if you are having knee pain. Because you see, you can do all these things without impacting the joint itself. Okay, good. Let's do the other side. And it's simple, but simple can be the best way. The KISS principle, keep it simple, stupid. So this is creating quite a lot of strengthening, particularly if you've got the knee pain. I know you've had knee pain. So you see, you can do this without it causing further problems. Can you feel some strengthening happening? Good. Okay. So we can take that away. So we're going to come and lie on our side. You can face this direction. You know, you can rest on that bottom arm, okay? You can even bend at the elbow, make a little elbow pillow, whatever feels good, and then bend the knees. Okay, so now we're going to be strengthening without impacting the knees. We're going to be strengthening the adductor, the inner thigh muscles here, by just lifting the knee, leaving the feet together. Now, our wonderful ability we have for visualization, just visualize that this knee that you're lifting is pushing against something. Can you feel that? Even coming down. You see the power of visualization? And can you feel the strengthening that's happening? Good. This is also helping in the buttock area, the gluteus medius muscle, maybe. Okay, good. And then just rest for a moment, just letting the muscles relax. Now, straighten the top leg straight out in front. Turn the toes facing up. Now inhale the leg up and exhale it down. You don't want to go too high up because otherwise you're going to bypass one of the muscles that have a huge impact on the health of the knee is the gluteus medius muscle in the buttocks. So we're targeting that gluteus medius muscle. Now, the longer you do this, the more aware you're going to become of your gluteus medius muscle. You may even begin to feel a burn in the bum. So, you just do it as much as you want. Wow, that's amazing. I'm always amazed at my own yoga practice. Good, and then just bend the knee and rest. So can you feel that some muscle in the buttocks was getting strengthened? That gluteus medius muscle is so important. That's what also keeps the pelvis, if it's strong, in its correct alignment. If that muscle's weak, the pelvis is collapsing, and then that has a rippling effect. Okay. Now we'll stretch. You see, we want to both strengthen and stretch all these muscles. So now we're going to bring that foot back, reach with the top arm, bringing the top heel towards the buttocks. And sometimes if the quad muscle is very tight, you have to use a belt around the foot. Now you're just trying to bring that knee further back, pulling the heel into the buttocks. You should feel a very generous stretch going on with that quad muscle. So we did a bit of strengthening, now we're doing stretching. We'll do a little more strengthening again later on. Okay, and then just to get to some of the other muscles, bring that knee, bend the knee into the chest, take hold of the ankle, the leg or the foot, and lift that leg up. Just getting a really nice stretch maybe behind the knee, hamstring. Sometimes you can, if you reach the toes, you can put your second and third finger between the big toe and next toe, the thumb just wrapping. And you notice if you sort of move the leg around, you can just target different muscles. Okay, let's bend the knee and rest. Okay, so I'm going to guide you through switching to the other side, but if you listen to me, then you'll still be facing me, but we'll be doing the other side. So if you just use your hands to push up, as if you're coming to sitting, swing the legs forward, and then swing the legs to the other side. So you should still be facing me, and come and rest on this side. Okay, so we'll do the clam, I'll call it clam, where we're just lifting the knee and lowering it, but you're using your power of visualization. You know, you can imagine that you're in a pool of treacle or something that you're pushing against, or syrup. Maybe that's a little too yucky. You can... Whatever you want to visualize. Thick mud. I think you're in a mud bath. Can be strengthening. So you should feel it in the inner thighs and on the outer hip buttock area. You can do as many of these as you like. That's the other nice thing about it. Okay, good. So now we'll target that gluteus medius. Reach the legs straight out in front, turn the toes pointing up. Inhale, lifting again, always moving with the breath. Inhale, the lifting, exhale, the lowering. And we'll see how this muscle even compares to the other one. Sometimes one side is weaker than the other, in which case you just spend a little longer. Okay, until you get enough burn that you say that's enough, and then just bend the knee and rest. And then we'll get a nice stretch for the quad muscle on the side. So again, put the belt around the foot if that's going to prevent you from the knee coming up a little bit too high. And then you can even let the hip come forward as the knee pulls back. Just some nice breaths. Good. And then bring the knee into the chest. Take hold of the leg, ankle, foot, toe, whatever you want, and lift the leg up. And notice those little micro movements that you make. Observe which muscles are getting some stretch. You see, it's the imbalances of the muscles that really end up causing the biggest problems. So we want to get to all of the muscles. Okay, good. Let's rest that knee back down. Relax all the muscles. And then use the hands to push on up. Good. Swing the legs straight out in front. So we're going to do some strengthening again for these quad muscles. So we're going to bend the knees, come onto our elbows, straighten out the right leg, and then just inhale the leg up and exhale it down. Again, these are such beautiful things to do because, you notice there's no impact on the knee joint at all. So we're doing lots of strengthening now for that quad muscle in particular. Okay, so this looks very comfortable for everybody. So we'll go to stage 2, where we're going to come onto the hands. And then inhale the leg up and exhale it down. So once it become really easy with stage 1, then we can do our stage 2. Now once you get really comfortable with stage 2, just come and clasp the left knee and lift and lower. So can you see the 3 stages? So you, depending on how the quad is, you decide where it is that's best for you. Okay, let's do the other side. So same thing. Now we'll see what this quad is like. Now we have imbalances one side to the other, mostly because of the kinds of things we've done in our lives and our habits of how we may stand, walk, sit. Okay, and then you can test the next level. So you can see if one side is different to the other, like we do in yoga. We're doing this mindfully with attention. We're not thinking of all sorts of other things. We're just thinking of which muscles are getting strengthened. And then if you want to go to the max, yeah. So the max is kind of too much for me. I think I'm maxed out quite quickly with that one. Okay, good. And then just rest. Okay, let's swing the legs out to the side. And we're going to come up to standing. So, you know, a good way to learn how to come up to standing is just coming into that downward dog and walking the hands to the feet or the feet to the hands, and then pushing back up. So the other muscles that have a direct impact on the knees are our calf muscles, our calf muscles. We do stuff in yoga to keep those strong. So we're just going to inhale, lifting the arms up as we come up onto the toes, and exhale, come on down. Now you don't even need to even lift the arms if you've got shoulder problems going on. Just doing the legs. Go with your breath. Okay. Now we're going to take it a little deeper. So we're going to wrap the right foot behind the left. Now this is where you may need the wall. Okay? Wrap the right foot behind the left, because all we're trying to do is strengthen these calf muscles. So holding onto a chair or the wall is probably a good idea. Can you notice just doing the one side how it's a little more intense? And then actually holding, like holding and breathing. Good. And then let's do the other side. You don't have to turn around. Left foot behind the right ankle. Inhaling up and exhaling down. And then hold. And again, you can do these things as many or as little as you want. Okay, good. So we did some strengthening for the calf muscles. So now we're going to stretch them. face the wall. Because what we want to do is maybe you can get your toes up on the baseboard of the right foot. We'll do right foot, toes up the baseboard. And then step back a little bit with that left foot. Just start bending the knees towards the wall. Press that back heel down into the floor. Can you feel the stretch? Not only the calf muscle, but the Achilles tendon. Okay, good. And then just switch to the other side, left foot, bending the knees. Now press that back heel down into the mat and that front knee moving towards the wall. Okay, good. That feels quite nice. Okay, so let's we'll just do some more strengthening. Maybe we'll go a little wide-legged. So let's bend the knees about 3 inches. And then bring the knees more over the heels. Bring the arms back behind, thumbs pointing out. Pull the low belly in and up, so you're not overarching in the low back. You've got the core really strong, and then reach the arms forward, pull the hips back. So a lot of strengthening going on here, all round. Good, and then lift on up and bring the arms down. Okay, let's face the middle of the room. And just come into whatever forward bend. Feels good. Relax the shoulders, relax the ears towards the floor, bend the knees so you're not rounding too much. Bring the hands onto the floor, bring one knee down. Bring the other knee down. Bring the big toes together, knees wide apart. Child. Let's push on up. Bring the buttocks onto the floor, swing the legs around. That's why yeah. Okay, let's come forward on the mat. Have a block and come onto the back. Now, take the block, have the feet hip width apart, so the heels are in line with the sits bones, and then walk the heels a little closer towards the sits bones. Now we're going to take the block and put it between the knees. The reason we're doing that is because sometimes when we lift the hips up in that bridge, the knees want to splay out. So by pressing into the block, we're strengthening the psoas muscle that connects onto that inner thigh. So just lifting the hips up while we're squeezing the blocks and lowering it down. If you've got very tight psoas muscles or weak psoas muscles, this could be quite challenging, even just doing this. Okay. Next time the hips are lifted, we can go into a full bridge if you like, lifting one shoulder up and tucking it under, lifting the other shoulder up, tucking it under. I'm quite liking just holding the sides of the mat, like gripping the sides of the mat, versus holding the hands underneath, which is fine if that feels good. And then you can see, can the chest lift a little higher towards the ceiling, the chin lifting a little higher. You may notice the buttocks squeezing, which is okay. There's a lot of strengthening in the hamstrings, in the buttocks, low back, and a nice stretch in front of the hips for those hip flexors. And the thyroid and thymus are happy because they're getting a nice little compression there. And come on back down. So I like the squeezing of the block in bridge because it's really forcing you to use certain muscles that maybe you don't use that much. So let's do another bridge. Just lifting up, squeezing the block, getting some strengthening going on in the back body, some opening in front of the hips. Even the heart is happy. It's not having to do too much work. You can roll up onto the shoulders if that feels good. If you do that, now you're getting a big stretch in front of the chest. You can even breathe into that stretch in front of the chest. Good, and come on back down. Ooh, we can take the block away. Let's cup the knees with the hands, fingers pointing down towards the feet. Exhale, pulling the knees into the chest. Inhale, knees moving away. Just inviting some releasing of any muscles that may be holding some tension, particularly in the low back. And then lift the legs up to the ceiling, pushing out through the heels, toes pulling back. You want the knees over the hips, even if the knees are bent. Bend the knees about 3 inches. Bring the hands between the knees, widen the legs. So now we're giving the adductor muscles, the inside of the thighs. We were strengthening them earlier, so now we're giving them a nice stretch. Bring the soles of the feet together, reach between the knees, grab hold of the ankles or the feet and pull the heels in, but drop the tailbone down, particularly if you feel the low back is flat on the mat. Come into happy baby. So it's okay to hold anywhere on the legs, the ankles, the outside of the feet. Make sure that knees are on the outside of the arms. and rocking even a bit from side to side. Bring the soles of the feet together, drop the feet to the floor, line up the big toe with big toe, heel with heel, just letting the thighs open up, the inner thighs. Take the hands and have the thumb sort of on the outside, the rest of the fingers in that crease between the hips and the thighs. Inhale into the chest, exhale, just push the thighs away. And then inhale, release. And then exhale, just pushing the thighs away. We'll do it one more time. And then you can hold them away a little bit. Good, and then release. Straighten out one leg, straighten out the other leg. So using hands to help push up. Bring hands in front of the heart. Namaste. Namaste. And have a great